Changes are coming to Devil's Lake State Park, while you might be seeing fewer trees in the coming months. That's right now at 6.
And a murder case in Rock County ends in a mistrial. What the judge says prompted the decision and what comes next in the case.
Plus, the ATF now reaching out to the public, offering a reward for information leading to an arrest in the Madison Mallards arson investigation.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
And thanks for joining us tonight. Changes are underway at Devil's Lake State Park. If you've been there recently, you may have noticed that many of the trees lining the roads are marked with red paint.
Jamie Perez explains the reason behind the red and what you can expect to see or not see in the near future.
Devil's Lake State Park is known for its nature and beauty, particularly during the fall. I mean, it's gorgeous here. But if you've been here recently, you've probably seen a bunch of these trees marked with red lines. I've learned that hundreds of the trees here are being taken down, and I found out why. If you're anything like Greg Laswell, you come to Devil's Lake to enjoy the beauty in nature.
Right now, what I'm seeing is gorgeous.
As a landscape photographer, he makes his way here at least twice a year to take pictures of the trees.
I'm all about preserving beautiful places like this.
So when he heard that many of these trees that he tries to preserve through photos are going to be chopped down, he was
very sad and wondering if it's actually needed.
According to Park Superintendent Steve Schmelzer, it is.
Try to preserve as many of the trees as we can, but inevitably, you're going to have a small percentage of the trees that, either die or, as in the case of the emerald ash borer, come up with a disease that kills them.
Emerald ash borer has made its way here, infecting hundreds of trees that line the iconic roads into the state park. Schmelzer says all the trees that are marked with red are
hazard trees or trees that have been identified that need to be removed.
He says if they're not taken down, they could fall into the roads and hurt someone in the next few years. Something Laswell said is hard for people like him who like what they see to accept.
Sounds bad, but there's nothing good about a rotting, decaying tree.
Schmelzer said only a couple of feet from each side of the road will be cleared of the hazard trees, and that not all of them will necessarily be coming down. How big of an area are we talking for the trees to be removed?
I think it depends upon the individual tree. We've hand-selected these trees. It's not like we've gone and said, okay, every tree within, the 32-foot right-of-way needs to come down. We've hand-selected these trees and tried to maintain as many as possible.
Laswell and the rest of us have just a little while longer to enjoy the trees while they're still here. And Laswell said, though he's sad to see the number of trees go down.
If it prevents whatever disease they might have from spreading to other trees, maybe it's a good thing.
For News 3 Now, I'm Jamie Perez, Devil's Lake State Park.
Many of the trees that are chopped down will be turned into firewood. They are planning on having a timber sale, so all that wood can be put to good use this winter.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is now offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in the arson investigation at the Mallards baseball stadium. Investigators say someone started the gift shop on fire a week ago tonight, causing significant damage. While investigating the scene, authorities recovered a unique LED camping lantern near the scene that may belong to those involved. Investigators are asking for the public's help in identifying who might have owned or recently purchased that lantern.
Getting a look outside now, our fall trend will continue for a few more days and is expected to stay dry until the weekend. Let's check your first alert forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. We've got some clouds moving overhead, but those should move out pretty quickly. In fact, as we take a look at visible cloud track, most of the clouds now are clearing over western Wisconsin, and that'll allow our temperatures to drop off pretty rapidly tonight. No precipitation across the state right now. Low temperatures this morning started out in the middle 30s. Right now we're in the lower 40s, with the air being very dry. Those temperatures will drop off very quickly again. In fact, we'll look for low temperatures to be in the upper 20s by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, look for a sunny but chilly day with a high temperature of 49. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. An update to our breaking news from last night. The Beloit Police Department says the victims and suspect in last night's shooting on Vine Street knew each other. This morning, police identified the 19-year-old victim, saying he was shot in a car and later taken to Mercy Hospital in Janesville with multiple gunshot wounds. Officers are currently looking for a single suspect, asking anyone with video cameras in the area of Vine and 10th Street to check their video if there is any footage to help that investigation. 3
more people have been charged in a large-scale counterfeit THC vape manufacturing operation in Kenosha County. Authorities say the new arrests are all men, ages 19 to 23. They are now among 8 people charged in this case. all accused of helping in a THC vape cartridge manufacturing ring. The two brothers behind it, Jacob and Tyler Huffhines, are accused of selling tens of thousands of the cartridges in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota. Prosecutors in Rock County are regrouping tonight after a homicide case ended in a mistrial.
A jury was unable to find Julian Collazo guilty of first-degree intentional homicide for a 2017 stabbing death of a Janesville woman. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us now with why the jury's attitude forced the mistrial call. Adam?
Yeah, well, Eric and Charlotte, jurors were simply unable to agree with one another as to whether Collazo was guilty. Court bailiff describing their deliberation as hostile and toxic, even said at one point verbal threats were made between jurors during deliberation. Collazo is facing first-degree intentional homicide charges in the stabbing death of Christina Scatia Lubeck, who was found stabbed more than 30 times in her Janesville home in December 2017. Judge Barbara McCrory asked the jury to try and work together several times, but the group was not able to come to a conclusion.
You folks worked about 3 hours last night, and you've been working for about two and a half hours today. Do you believe at this point that this jury is capable of working more in terms of moving forward?
No, I don't.
The trial will start fresh in December with the defense trying to prove that it wasn't Collazo who stabbed Christine Scatia Lubeck to death, but rather an associate of his named Nicole Kazar. But still somewhat a frustrating ending for all of the parties involved in this case this week.
Yeah, definitely something you don't see every day in a courtroom. All right, Adam, thank you.
A Richland Center woman charged with homicide is in court for the first time today. Investigators say 35-year-old Amber Lundgaard admitted to shooting 37-year-old Christopher Lytle of Westfield last month, saying it was self-defense. His body was discovered in a rural isolated area in Fairfield off Levy Road. A pre-trial date has been set for November 22nd.
State Republicans are pushing for some changes in state law to ban labeling food as meat, milk, or dairy if they don't actually contain those products. Today, during a Senate committee meeting, the bill's sponsors say it's in order to protect Wisconsin's agriculture and dairy industries from what they say are misleading food labels. Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin has pursued similar legislation at the federal level. A group of state lawmakers are in Vermont right now to learn more about the F-35 fighter jets. A Vermont Air National Guard spokesman says they've received fewer noise complaints than expected after the first two jets arrived last month. Vermont going through a similar situation to the one here in Madison. The F-35s are replacing their F-16 predecessors. Truax Field could receive 20 F-35s in a few years. Many of the same noise concerns raised in Vermont are being repeated here in Wisconsin.
It is a big weekend on the UW campus, particularly for the School of Music. The Hamill Music Center will be open to the public for the first time with a full weekend of opening celebrations. We're getting a first ever look inside the $55.8 million center. It was completely funded by private donations. The building on University Avenue puts the School of Music on a whole new plane.
It is dead quiet in here. That was, again, central to what we wanted to do, was to have this be the best acoustic space possible. Each space here is its own concrete box within a larger concrete structure. A precast concrete wall, 12 inches thick, and then what they call an acoustical joint, which is a dead air space.
You can check out the center all weekend long. Events kick off at 6:45 tomorrow evening with a musical fanfare and a ribbon cutting, followed by a full concert at 7:30. There is more to come tonight. A look at your full forecast with a glimpse of what to expect this weekend.
But first, a local effort happening right now to lower your prescription drug costs, how it works. Straight ahead. Welcome back. Thanks to drug shortages, hospitals often jump through hoops to obtain the necessary treatments for patients.
Madeline O'Neill tells us about an effort to make these everyday drugs more accessible.
Well, prescription drug shortages are more common than we might think as patients. The most recent one making headlines is a dwindling supply of a drug used to treat pediatric cancer patients. Now, that drug isn't a problem at SSM Health St. Mary's yet, but there are a number of other necessary drugs that are often in short supply.
It kind of becomes a scramble because you want to make sure that you can get that product for those patients, whatever's needed. So
filling a prescription for a hospital patient is more difficult when the drug just isn't there.
So imagine a child with a certain kind of cancer that has to have this treatment, and when it's not available, it will create a big problem.
But behind the scenes, we're doing a lot of work to make sure that we secure that product for our patients.
That's why it takes a new way of doing things to fill the need. SSM Health in Madison is receiving one of its first shipments from a nonprofit drug manufacturer called Civica RX, developed last year by health systems including SSM.
And that by itself is huge because no other drug company ever claimed to be out there on a not-for-profit basis with only one mission of making essential drug products available and affordable across the country.
Civica RX focuses on manufacturing essential generic drugs that are often in short supply and selling them at cost. Its first being vancomycin, an antibiotic.
It's an injectable antibiotic used for a number of infections, some of which are life-threatening infections.
SSM Vice President of Pharmacy Services, Mo Karbat, says shortages of necessary drugs can be caused by a lack of a certain active ingredient or a manufacturer's decision.
That's what actually results in the shortage sometimes, is when drug companies stop making a drug because it doesn't make enough money for them.
Health providers are often able to locate alternatives, even if they're more costly, so patients don't notice a difference in care. But reliable shipments of drugs like vancomycin from Civica RX fill the void when shortages arise.
So what we're hoping from Civica is that they'll really just make sure that we have product on the shelves at all times and that we don't get to a point where it could potentially affect a patient.
Civica RX is in its early stages and plans to roll out up to 20 more generic drugs that are often in short supply by the end of the year.
There's an organization on the UW-Madison campus that's been around since 1917.
The all-women's group is called Demeter, named after the Greek goddess of agriculture. And while its goal has always been to provide scholarships and grants to students at the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, they've grown their mission beyond education. Once a month, some of the ladies get together with their sewing machines, much like the original members did 102 years ago.
Well, originally, back in 1917, when we organized, we were a quilting group. And back then, the ladies would get together on the afternoons and quilt. And for many, many years, we donated quilts to the Red Cross.
In a special Do Something Good story, find out what they're doing now to help some patients at UW Hospital. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
But first, still ahead at 6, the Brewers' Lorenzo Cain, now a finalist for the 2019 Gold Glove Award. And the big game just 2 days away now, how the Badgers are getting ready for Ohio State. It's coming up in sports.
But first, our fall vibe will continue into the weekend. Gary Canalti will have his full forecast when we come back. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now, and there's no doubt it is fall out there.
Yeah, it's feeling that way, but, you know, temperatures aren't all that really cold. I mean, we got to start expecting this time of year. There's not a lot of precipitation in the forecast. In fact, so we take a look at visible cloud track. We had a patch of clouds develop late this morning and this afternoon and move through southern Wisconsin. Now that's starting to erode away to the west, so that will allow skies to clear and temperatures will drop off pretty rapidly after sunset. The future track computer model, this is just updated from basically for the next 7 days, including Halloween. It shows the potential for some precipitation, mainly for Friday night or for Saturday night into Sunday morning over far southeastern Wisconsin. The model comes a little farther north with the precipitation, at least the very latest computer model run. So we'll have to see whether or not that actually plays out. But the European computer model shows a more widespread precipitation. This is actually through the same time period. And a lot of this from the European computer model would be from Wednesday into Halloween Thursday. Now, right now, I don't have any precipitation in the forecast for Halloween Thursday. The GFS Future Track model for snow actually shows very little in the way of precipitation as we head through next week. But you'll notice as we get into the time right around Tuesday and Wednesday, perhaps some very light snow accumulations over southeastern Wisconsin and northeastern Illinois. Whereas the European computer model forecast for the same time period shows the potential for several inches of snow from Madison on toward the north and west. And these numbers have come down a bit, but at this point, we have to keep an eye on this for Thursday. Right now, I don't have any precipitation in the forecast. I think it'll just be cold. And if we do have some snow, it probably won't stick to the ground because ground temperatures are still pretty warm. The WISC Skycam, again, showing a little bit of clearing out to the west, and that'll be moving in here overnight. The Edgewater Skycam looking toward the southeast still shows cloudy skies. Our high temperature today, 45 degrees. That's more than 10 degrees below normal. Low temperature of 35, about where it should be. And right now we're at 43 degrees. Skies are still mostly cloudy. Winds pretty light out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. As we check out temperatures, those 30s continue to sag southward. Now Marshfield at 38 degrees. Rhinelander 37. Eau Claire and La Crosse just barely above the 40-degree mark. Even though our upper level winds are from the west and southwest, but they shift to the north, that's allowing cold air to really drop down through the plains. And the next weather system that's bringing rain and some thunderstorms to the south changes over to snow over parts of the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Now, this weather system will mainly stay to the south of us, the leading edge of the colder air just crossing the Ohio River, but a large area of Canadian or high pressure that actually extends from the central plains all the way up into the Canadian provinces, keeping our weather relatively cool across the entire Midwest. 30s and 40s for the most part. You really don't see any mild air around. And as we check out Future Track, that high pressure system will also keep the threat for rain down to the south. You can see as we head from Saturday into Saturday night, the possibility for at least a few showers to reach us. And then after that, we should dry out for Sunday, but colder weather will move in for early next week. So for tonight, skies will gradually become mostly clear after some clouds this evening. Low temperature dropping to a cold 27. Tomorrow will be a sunny but chilly day with a high temperature of only 49. On Future Track, as those skies clear out overnight, those temperatures drop down into the upper 20s. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, high temperatures, upper 40s to around 50 degrees. For tomorrow night, mostly clear skies, low temperatures in the lower 30s. Saturday morning, sunshine will give way to some clouds as that weather system approaches from the south, highs in the lower 50s. Rain shower chance Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Then after that, look for a cooling trend next week and rain and snow showers Tuesday and Wednesday, hopefully drying out for Halloween Thursday.
Well, some good life lessons from head coach Paul Chryst on what to do when the unexpected happens. Could very well happen at Ohio State. That story coming up in sports. So the Badger football team heads to Columbus, Ohio tomorrow. Now the showdown with the third-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes kicking off just after 11 a.m. on Saturday on Fox. Now the weather could be a big factor this weekend. It won't be nice and sunny like it was last Saturday in Champaign. Right now the forecast for Columbus calling for a 100% chance of rain and winds up to 15 miles an hour. Amateur meteorologist Paul Christ admitting he's keeping an eye on the weather for Saturday's game.
Well, I think that you try to be aware of what you're going into, and yet there's always a chance, right? There's a chance for wind, there's a chance for rain, there's a chance for whatever, right? And I think it can absolutely wind probably as much as rain. You have to be aware of it. It can't be the reason. It can't be the where it takes it over. But yeah, I think weather can be certainly a key factor in what you do or how you do it.
And meanwhile, still no Davante Adams so far this week for the Packers. He did speak to reporters today after practice, saying that the thing that hurts the most right now is pushing off of his foot because his toe isn't responding the same way it did before he tore that ligament. He's potentially a game-time decision. As for the rest of the offense, will we see another powerhouse performance from Aaron Rodgers and basically anyone that can catch the ball? Well, Jimmy Graham definitely had his best performance in a Green Bay uniform last Sunday, and head coach Matt LaFleur says the tight end has handled adversity in the right way.
I think the key is you can never get too high and never too low. If you make a mistake, you gotta learn from it and move on. Nobody's out there trying to make mistakes, especially if you're talking about a guy dropping a ball. That happens sometimes, but I'm more interested in how you respond to that.
Meanwhile, it is ball night for the Bucs, as we say around here. The team opening the season tonight in Houston. And if you ask anyone around here, the score is going to be Bucs, a lot of points. Rockets, not a lot of points. Eric Bledsoe is back, thought to be out for the first week or two of the season with a ribcage injury. The Bucs starting point guard cleared to play, ready to start tonight. When asked how he healed so fast, Bledsoe said, quote, "I have no idea. He's just worried about getting off to a fast start and doing things better than last year."
Everybody had, a lot of success last year, as a team-wise, individual-wise. But we're looking to take that next step. We got to do it again.
But he just helps us hold everything together. Lets me do my job, Giannis do his job. Everybody's just out there. He's able to do what they do when he's out there on the floor, just because how he's able to create shots for everybody, make sure everybody keeps involved.
And no real surprise here, Lorenzo Cain named one of the 3 finalists for the Gold Glove Award. The other National League finalists are Nationals Victor Robles and Cardinals Harrison Bader. Now, this is the 4th time that Cain has been named a finalist. He finished up as the runner-up last year to Ender Inciarte on the Braves. The winner will be announced on Sunday, November 3rd. Hopefully, the 4th time is the charm
That is
for
shocking.
Cain. Right? I know, it really
so
is. Yep.
You should get it. All right, final chat, Gary.
Temperatures on the cool side. We've had some clouds move through, but they're starting to break out. You can see a Doppler track, things very quiet. No rain around here, but those temperatures, they are cool. Here in Madison, we're at 43, already down to 34 in Black River Falls and 38 in Camp Douglas. So the chillier air moving in. 7 to 10 day forecast, 49 tomorrow, 53 Saturday, some shower chances Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Then a cooling trend next week, rain and snow shower chances from Monday night through Tuesday and Wednesday. Highs by Wednesday only in the upper 30s with a brisk wind. Halloween Thursday will be chilly, but temperatures will be back in the mid 40s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the following weekend.
Have those warm Halloween costumes.
Sweater weather.
Kids
got
like
a few
little-
days to prepare.
Yeah, you got a week or so. All right, Gary, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.